Have you ever woken up in a silent home and wondered, how did I end up here, navigating the rest of my life on my own? What if I told you living alone after 60 or 70 or 80 can feel like charting an endless sea, where one day is calm and the next, you're caught in a storm? Stay with me, because today I'm lifting the curtain on truths about solo living in our golden years that no one talks about, yet so many of us experience. Hello everyone, welcome back to Senior Health Essentials, your go-to channel for practical, science-backed tips to help us all live longer, feel stronger, and stay sharp through our golden years. I'm so glad you're here. If you've ever felt the thrill of independence and the loneliness of quiet halls, you already know that living alone as an older adult requires a kind of resilience few people ever mention. It's like setting sail on a vast ocean. Sometimes the waters are so calm you think this must be it, pure peace, only to find yourself tossed by waves you never saw coming. Today, I want to explore that voyage with you, sharing truths and insights for living alone that aren't in any brochure or standard retirement guide. Before we dive in, let me invite you to subscribe and join our community of wise, courageous souls. Every subscriber helps us build a place where we celebrate age, share life's big questions, and support each other through whatever the journey brings. So click that subscribe button and ring the bell. We're so much stronger when we sail together, even if our paths are solo. Now, I want to begin with a story about my dear friend Linda. After her kids graduated and moved out, she packed up her life into a small apartment. At first, she was thrilled. "I've earned this," she told me, her eyes sparkling. She had dreamed of her own space for years. No more sharing bathrooms, no more worrying about who left dishes in the sink. That freedom was intoxicating. Yet, as the days passed, Linda discovered hidden layers to her solo life. She loved the stillness that came with no one else around, but sometimes that same stillness felt like a heavy cloak. On especially quiet mornings, she caught herself replaying regrets in her mind. Should I have stayed closer to my family? Did I really take the right job all those years ago? Those whispers of regret and the ache of loneliness crept in when she least expected them. But here's the thing. Linda's experience isn't unique. Many older adults find that living alone is both a gift and a test. A gift, because you finally have space to be fully yourself, painting when you feel like painting, dancing to your favorite song at 9 a.m., or curling up with a book without interruption. Yet it's also a test of resilience, patience, and strength when the silence rings unnervingly loud, or when you realize you're the only one who has to fix that leaky faucet, haul in groceries, and muster the motivation to get up on days that feel heavy. So what can we learn from Linda's journey? First, it's vital to acknowledge that living alone is a dual experience, one part delight, one part challenge. You may wake up feeling empowered. I can do pretty much whatever I want today. But by mid-afternoon, that same independence might leave you wondering, who do I call when I just need a friendly voice? The key is to lean into both sides. Embrace the freedom while building strategies to handle the inevitable rough patches. Second, know that you're not alone in feeling lonely on quiet days. When Linda hit those low moments, she taught herself to reach out, to call a friend for a quick chat, join a local book club, or volunteer at the community center. Those connections, even if they're just grabbing a cup of coffee with a neighbor, can turn a day of silence into one filled with small, joyful conversations. Finally, remember that living alone demands self-compassion. When you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself how far you've come. You've navigated decades of growth, loss, love, and career changes. If you can steer through all that, you can weather a day in your own company. Use this time to nurture yourself, whether it's picking up a new hobby, writing in a journal, or simply taking a walk in the park to breathe in fresh air. In the coming segments, we'll unpack practical ways to fill the silence, differentiate solitude from loneliness, tackle everyday chores without feeling overwhelmed, and find joy and purpose in your solo life. But for now, reflect on Linda's story. The highs of independence, the lows of unexpected loneliness, and the resilience that carried her through. If you're navigating similar waters, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your experiences. What joys have you found in your own space? What silent storms have you weathered? If this intro resonated, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might also appreciate an honest conversation about living alone. And don't forget to subscribe for more episodes on living fully in our senior health essentials. Whether the seas are calm or choppy, we're in this together, trusting that every wave we ride is part of our unique voyage. I'll see you in the next video. Safe sailing, my friends. You know that eerie stillness that settles over a home once the last visitor leaves? It's not the kind of quiet you enjoyed when the kids were at school or when you finally retired from a busy job. No, this is different. Now, there is no bustle of grandchildren's laughter or the hum of a roommate's evening radio show, just the unbroken hush of your own company. It can feel like an unwelcome guest, reminding you at every tick of the clock, every hum of the refrigerator, and every unexpected creak in the floor that you're alone. The silence can be heavy, a reminder that the footfalls you used to hear simply aren't there anymore. But let me challenge you to reframe that silence. Instead of seeing it as an adversary, consider it your ally, a blank canvas, waiting for you to paint new memories, new joys, and yes, even a little mischief if you feel like breaking into a spontaneous jig in the living room at midnight. That same stillness that makes you reach for the phone can also give you the space to think, to reflect, and to find an unexpected oasis of inner peace. Try filling it intentionally with things that bring you joy. Maybe it's playing your favorite jazz record at low volume, losing yourself in a good mystery novel, practicing gentle prayer or meditation, or simply allowing your own voice to break the hush with a song, a poem, or even a hearty laugh. Because the home is yours, and you get to choose what echoes through its halls. Next, let's talk about loneliness versus solitude, two words that people often use interchangeably, but they feel very different in the heart. Loneliness is that hollow ache you get when you miss the presence of loved ones, the way your spouse used to read you the newspaper, or how your daughter's laughter used to fill the room. It sneaks up like a shadow on a cloudy day. You might find yourself wondering, does anyone remember me today? Do they miss my voice, my jokes? Those thoughts can grow roots and hold you in a gloom that's hard to shake. Solitude, on the other hand, is a conscious choice. It's the difference between being alone and choosing to be alone. Picture a still lake, calm and undisturbed. That's solitude. It's a chance to reconnect with yourself, to find contentment in your own company. Solitude allows you to explore who you are right now, without externals crowding your mind. It's where you can nurture self-love, learn a new skill, reflect on life's lessons, or even take up that hobby you always said you'd try if you ever had the time. The good news is that you can cultivate solitude. You don't have to wait for the next thunderstorm of loneliness. It could be signing up for a weekly book club online, joining a local community gardening group, or simply calling an old friend and having a heart-to-heart. Remember, solitude is not isolation. It's a space to nurture and enrich yourself. Of course, living alone comes with practical challenges too, things we never think about when we're younger or living with family. Who do you call when the faucet springs a leak? How do you drag those heavy grocery bags up 3 flights of stairs? Changing a light bulb can feel like scaling a mountain with a pebble in your shoe, annoying and frustrating. The key is to adapt. If you can't tackle a task yourself, consider hiring a handyman for those fiddly repairs. Use grocery delivery services to save that back and knee strain. And don't be shy about creating a contact list, a neighbor who can help lift something heavy, a friend who can drive you to appointments, or a relative who checks in weekly. Asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's a strength and acknowledgement that we all need each other's support at times. And for those you ask, it's a gift. It lets them show their love and care. Finally, let's address the emotional resilience and self-compassion required to thrive on your own. There will be days when everything feels overwhelming, when the silence presses so hard that even getting out of bed seems like a hurdle. In those moments, you must become your own best friend. Speak to yourself with kindness, just as you would to a dear companion who's having a bad day. Give yourself permission to have off days. Picture a sturdy tree standing tall through every season: spring blossoms, summer storms, autumn leaves, and winter's chill. You, too, have weathered life's storms, career changes, family challenges, health scares, and triumphs. The leaves may fall, but the trunk remains strong. When tough days hit, remind yourself of battles you've already fought and won, and how far you've come. Navigating the challenges of solo living is not easy, but it can be deeply rewarding. Silence can be a friend, solitude can be a mentor, practical chores can become opportunities to ask for connection, and emotional resilience can become a badge of honor. As you sail through this chapter of your endless sea, remember, each wave you conquer, each moment of quiet you embrace, and each ask for help you make is a testament to your resilience, patience, and strength. You are not alone in this journey. We're right here, navigating together. If you found these insights helpful, please share your thoughts in the comments. How do you fill the silence? What helps you turn loneliness into solitude? Let's continue this conversation, because in sharing our stories, we build a community that thrives on the wisdom of age and the courage to live fully, even alone. You know, one of the biggest misconceptions about living alone as we get older is that our purpose somehow vanishes when there's no one else in the house. But that's simply not true. Purpose doesn't disappear with age. It evolves. Picture purpose as a flame. Even if it burns low, it still provides warmth and direction. When we were younger, our flame might have been fueled by career goals or raising a family. Now, that flame might look different, but it's still there, waiting for us to tend it. Think back to your proudest accomplishments. What made your heart swell when you achieved them? For many of us, those achievements were moments of connection, teaching a lesson, helping a friend, or simply making someone laugh. Today, even though life's pace has slowed, that same spark can ignite in new ways. Maybe it's sharing stories of your younger days with a grandchild who's never heard them, or volunteering at a local food pantry where your wisdom and compassion can guide younger volunteers. Perhaps it's spending afternoons in your garden, watching new life sprout under your care, reminding you that purpose is not always about productivity. Sometimes it's about nurturing beauty and life itself. Let me tell you about my friend Maria, who at 78 started a small book club in her retirement community. She thought book discussions were too trivial compared to the work she did as a nurse for 40 years. But when she opened that first meeting, something magical happened. She watched neighbors who barely knew each other begin to share their own stories, their laughter echoing down the hallway. Maria realized her purpose had simply shifted from caring for patients in a hospital to caring for hearts and minds in her own home. That flame of purpose, though smaller, still burned brightly, guiding her to build a new community. If you're wondering how to rediscover your own purpose and joy, consider these ideas. Share your life lessons by mentoring someone who could use your guidance. Spend time in nature, take walks in the park, breathe deeply, and feel connected to something bigger than yourself. Volunteer for a cause that speaks to you, whether it's animal rescue, church outreach, or even helping neighbors with errands. You might also create small moments of joy simply by being present for others, invite a friend over for coffee, write letters to friends you haven't seen in years, or call someone who may be feeling isolated. Those little acts of kindness are powerful ways to fuel that purpose flame. Remember, your golden years aren't a time to fade into the background. They're an opportunity to live intentionally, to explore your inner self, and to nurture your soul. It's okay if your flame flickers now and then. That happens when life changes. What matters is that you keep tending to it, even with a small flicker, because that light can guide you through quiet days and remind you that your life still matters immensely. Thank you for joining me today and for taking the time to reflect on how living alone can actually be a chance to find new purpose and joy. If you found this video helpful or it resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who might need these words, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel. We're on this journey together, and there's so much more to discover and share. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What has living alone taught you? What challenges have you faced, or perhaps what unexpected joys have you found in your solitude? Share your experiences in the comments below, because your story could be the very thing someone else needs to hear today. Remember, living alone doesn't mean you're alone. You are part of a larger community, a beautiful mosaic of stories, wisdom, and resilience. Stay well, stay prepared, and remember, every step we take on this journey is worth celebrating. I look forward to reading your comments and seeing you in our next video.